Nice cool morning, nice little rain yesterday. Everybody's smiling. This is nice, right? Okay. Washington County Commissioners Court is now in session Tuesday, November 19th, 2024 at 9 a.m. Commissioner Bullock, would you do the honors, please?
Sure. Good morning. Welcome, everybody. Today, to lead us in the invocation, we have Deacon Al Prescott.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yes, the vegetables are growing great right now. This cool weather, cabbage is coming up strong, and the kohlrabi is forming. All right, and the bok choy is ready to pick. All right, so on this beautiful, cool morning, you're going to get a double dose today. If I get it wrong, got a Baptist minister standing next to me over here. All right, and he's double checking what I do. So let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you today, acknowledging your presence among us. We invite your divine presence to fill this meeting room and bless the court's time together. May your Spirit guide your thoughts, words, and actions so that everything they do brings glory to your name. Matthew tells us in 18:20, "For where two or three gather in my name, there am I with them." Lord, we believe in the power of your presence. As we gather here, we trust that you are with us, guiding and directing our meeting. Thank you for being here with us. Amen.
Amen. Please join us in the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Item number 3, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of pending Washington County Expo rental regulations. We have 3 of those this morning. There's a irrigation conference, the Washington County Wildlife Society annual banquet, and a goat show.
I make a motion to approve pending Washington County Expo rental regulations and authorize the judge to sign.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of amendment number 3 of the Chapter 381 Economic Development Agreement between Washington County and BK Stringer Limited, dated March 19, 2019, and to request that the county treasurer issue a check in the amount of $101,779 payable to BK Stringer Limited to fulfill the terms of the agreement. Ms. Rosales.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Honorable Judge and County Commissioners, excuse me, I'm a little sick today. In 2019, the county entered into a 380 Economic Development Agreement with BK Stringer. The agreement provided incentives to facilitate the construction of the Baker Katz commercial development known as Brenham Crossings. In processing the first payment per the agreement, BK Stringer and I agree that an amendment is needed to clarify several items. Please note that the changes that are part of this amendment do not change any obligations of either the county or BK Stringer. More specifically, the edits relate to the calculation of program grant payments and timing of the initial due date. That date should be March 1, 2024. In addition, BK Stringer asked that language be added to reflect adherence to anchor and non-anchor building decorative elements, since they have already met the threshold for the maximum amount of program grant payments. The City of Brenham has already agreed to a third amendment with these edits at their regular City Council meeting held on November 7, 2024. Staff recommends that the county also approve this third amendment. In addition, I'd like to request that the county treasurer issue a check in the amount of $101,779 payable to BK Stringer which represents the year one payment per the terms of the agreement. You may be wondering, or as a reminder, what was the focus of the other amendments? The first amendment, which was June 7th, 2019, was related to the construction completion date and certificate of occupancy date was updated due to COVID. Number two, there was a traffic impact analysis report required related to Chapel Hill Road widening. The focus of the second amendment, which was November 6, 2020, again, the due date of the initial grant payment was then adjusted to December 1 of 2023. There were also construction item details listed and the addition of the anchor and non-anchor decorative elements provision. So why are we messing around with that date? Part of the problem is the original 380 said that the first payment is due December 1, 2022. The second was December 1, 2023. So the county's on a calendar year, and the county years from January through December. Because notice of the breakdown from the comptroller lags as much as 2 months, we're changing it to make more sense for the payment to be due March 1st. If you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer. The city did already pay their portion. They paid it in December of 2023.
So I have some questions. So, in the original document,
Okay.
we had the total of $6 million, correct?
Yes.
And under this number 3, section 501, we've added some verbiage there that increases this by $1 million to $7 million.
That was done November 6, 2020 as part of that second amendment.
So we have already agreed to increase that cost.
If they meet those decorative
So
elements.
what changed in section 105? If that change was already in there, why are we putting it back in this third amendment? Is my question. Is there a change in there that wasn't in the second amendment?
So the second so the original contract only addressed the 6 million. So the second amendment, if I'm not mistaken, Teresa, included that last paragraph of that section C, where it says, in the event BK Stringer satisfies all requirements in section 5.001 entitling BK Stringer to an increase of 1 million of the total amount of program grant payments. That is what we added, so we can't take that out.
No, I understand that, but what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
I do have the answer.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, section 3, 501 of the 381, if you look, that runs to page 2, page 3, page 4, and page 5.
Yes.
What was added is the last paragraph. It says there, the county and BK Stringer agree that as of the date of this third amendment, BK Stringer has met the anchor building decorative elements threshold. That's why.
Okay.
Good catch.
Yeah.
That's exactly why.
It's $1 million.
It's $1 million.
And the other thing is
Yes.
that, so in the original document, we had it March 1st of 2035, of 2033, and now it's moved to March 1st, 2035. Explain that again so that I understand what's happening there.
It's the same time period, but because it started late, all those
And
dates
those
were
due dates.
moved up.
Okay.
Yes.
And then the
Yeah.
no later
Later
than.
Remember, it falls within that table
Yeah.
that's in the document.
And that's also why the date changed from December 31st, 2033?
March,
So-
because you
No,
don't
it
have
says
the,
no later than in number 2, Mr. Salas.
That's the sales tax ending date.
Ending
Yeah.
date.
And
Okay.
so it's always going to run to the end of December, but the payment is
It's
due
gonna
2
be
months
in
later.
35.
we
Right.
don't get the
Perfect.
numbers
Right.
from
Just wanted to
comptroller.
make sure the document was correct.
Yep,
Yeah.
you got it. And just as a reminder that now $7 million is between the city and the county.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's split,
Well, it's sales tax reimbursement.
yeah.
Judge and Commissioners, you know that I have not supported these types of agreements in the past. So you know where I stand on this agreement.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, I make a motion to approve the amendment number 3 of the Chapter 381 Economic Development Agreement between Washington County and BK Stringer Limited dated March 19th, 2019, and to request that the county treasurer issue a check to the amount of $101,779 payable to BK Stringer Limited to fulfill the terms of the agreement.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Rosella.
Thank you.
Item number 5, presentation of information technology quarterly report. Mr. Oh, okay.
Good
Not Mr.
morning.
Harris, I'm sorry.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good
How are y'all?
Good morning.
All right, so I'll be presenting the quarterly report for the IT department today.
Okay.
All right. First item will be the project list that we had for this quarter. 4 new projects have been added to the list since the last report. 5 have been completed. Okay. And you'll see the total from February 24 to November 24 has gone up for the total projects that we've done for the county, for the different departments. Okay, item C shows the completed projects that we've done, the 5 completed ones. Project 124 is EMS3 station alerting. Station alerting is just putting speakers and audible alarms inside the stations for the EMS personnel. If they're sleeping, they hear the alarm go off, that type of thing. 143 Zerker standby server to the recovery center. We moved the standby server, which was originally here, to the
Bryan
to the
site?
Bryan
Yes.
site.
Great.
Number 144, we reinstalled the operating system for the one of the data centers servers at the Bryan site. Project 208, we set up a new Terra station. Terra station is just a bunch of hard drives that store the data for us, all of our backups. Project 209, we set up another Terra station at the production site here at Communications.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 2, this shows the SysAid metrics, the amount of incidences that we have. So you'll see from February 24 to November 24, you'll have the totals there. Nothing out of the ordinary. Everything looks, on track for what we do. Item B shows the requests that we've done. Requests are incidents are break fixes for services that are already in place. Computer goes down, workstation goes down, that's an incident. Requests are requests for new services, software items that someone doesn't have or they want, keyboards, mice, headset, that type of thing. We recently did another survey for the county. This shows the overall satisfaction results for the county that we have received. We base these off of satisfied and extremely satisfied. We add those two up to get the number that we have here. So you'll see on item number A, the overall customer satisfaction was 94.2%, which is up from 91.8% from the last survey that we did. Satisfaction with the timeliness of the resolution, that is also up 92.75%, up from 81% last time. Satisfaction with the courtesy of the specialists, it is also up 97.10%, up from 92.86%. And first time call resolution, that is up from, it's at 94.2, up from 88.37.
Yeah.
So the overall response rate was 31% that we got from the county. We did it for a week, sent out reminders, that type of thing, so people would be able to take it.
Well, what do you remember what the percentage response rate was for some of the previous ones? Are we getting a little bit better reply?
Yes, so on the next page, we have the response rates
Oh, okay, sorry.
listed from the first one that we did 2020 till now. I'm not sure why they've gone down. We've even done incentives this time to, try to boost the numbers of people to take the survey. The response rate's gone down, but the overall satisfaction has gone up.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 4 is the network status by location. So this shows all the locations that we currently have that have active networks there. Green shows it's in good standing, or green shows the active sites. Yellow is the sites that we aren't currently active at yet. The overall time that we are shooting for is 99.9% for uptime at each site. The main spots that we don't have that are the remote sites that have not as good internet, cellular connections, that type of thing. So one of the projects that we're working on implementing is redundant backup links at each one of those sites. We've already implemented at the hangar, EMS Station 5, and at Prairie Hill. We got 2 links there at each one. So we'll be continuing to roll it out. Burton, JP4, those are the 2 main ones next. Item number 5, the budget status. So we've broken this down into two parts: the IT department's budget, and then the overall technology budget that we are now managing.
Right.
You'll see that the IT department is under budget. We still have 23% left. The technology budget, 4,000. You'll see that says it's over budget, but that's due to the softwares that were approved for 2025 that we're going to be implementing next year.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
That shouldn't be in here at all.
Huh?
That should not even be listed.
Well,
But they're not over budget then.
well, no, they're technically not. They wouldn't have been over budget, but those were approved rather than waiting until
Right.
2025 to allow them some time, if you recall.
But they haven't been expended, is what I'm saying. so-
Right, right. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because we had said, because I'm sure you'll probably fill in from contingency. Yeah. So, okay.
Staffing for the IT department, we are fully staffed. At this time, the systems and network administrator are 85% trained, and the IT technician is 100% trained. We've been focusing a great deal of attention on completing project work on the long-term projects in an effort to complete tasks and focus on new software implementations that we have coming up in 2025. We'll be involved in the rollouts of many new functional line of business software applications. That way we can help better support them, because I know we weren't involved in the previous ones. This time we'll be able to be hands-on.
Right.
Okay. Number 6, network and service outages. That's what I was talking about. We've implemented a new notification system called Uptime Robot. It reaches out and it checks if that network is alive, and it sends back a response, and it keeps track of everything that we have.
Fantastic.
So you can see Appendix C is the system status report. And the outages tracked by Uptime Robot are in Appendix D. We'll be using this from now on to show system outages and report on that. Okay. The next is just the project list that we have currently under Appendix A.
Oh, I see, y'all have the uptime.
Mhm.
Like that.
Sends us notifications as soon as something's down. I've got our websites monitored on it, so I can
Yeah,
see
that's
if
great.
the websites go down or not. Appendix B is the survey recommendations. We got a pretty good response on the opinions that we have in the county on what we can improve on, if we're doing a good job or not. We've highlighted the responses that are recommendations that people have. We look at those, we take them into account, if it's feasible or not. We try to implement fixes for it, or explain how things work. And Appendix C, you'll be able to see the report that Uptime Robot provides So it's not all the way full because we haven't had the service in place for a full 90 days, but once it hits 90 days, it'll show all of the full timeline. The red marks show when a service outage occurred. And a lot of these will have, so the primary internet for the county, we've got 2 circuits that are on there. We've got BBCog and we have AT&T. So even though BBCog may show that there was a blip, county never lost network because we have the backup.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Appendix D shows the system outage report. This is also provided by Uptime Robot, just gives the time and dates of when an outage occurred. And we have these checks going for every minute, so every minute it checks the service. So, any questions on the IT report?
So this IT robot then sends you guys a notification
It does.
that something's out?
Yep.
And then you're able to go fix it?
Yep. There's an app, so I have it on the app. It sends a notification through the app. TJ gets text messages from it, so it can send emails, text messages, notifications, stuff like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It really helps, especially when like the EMS website, since we don't host it, I have theirs on there. So I've been able to message Justin and say, hey, just to let you know, your website's down. He got with the provider and they fixed it.
Good.
Yeah.
Real good.
Fantastic.
Otherwise, that would go unnoticed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we would never know.
yeah.
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 Okay.
Well, thank you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Thank you.
Item number 6, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of supplemental and incentive pay for employees assigned additional duties due to vacancies in the E911 department.
Good morning, Judge and
morning.
Commissioners. As you know, there are a couple of employees from different departments that have been assigned duties to help fill the vacancies, or to help administer the duties due to the vacancies in the 911 department. Ms. Skalka, my HR generalist, has been taken over to keep operations running and is also in a supervisory role. And then Mark Young in our IT department has additional duties because of the implementation of software over in 911. We have incentives in place per policy for our shift work employees. And I'm asking that these be extended to Ms. Skalka as she's an hourly employee. TAP pay, shift differential, and on-call pay should apply. She's on call 24/7 to answer questions for the people in that department. Also, I would request that the TAP pay be doubled because not only is she filling a supervisory role, which is what TAP pay incentive is for, she's also providing operational guidance, and she is stepping into a role in a department outside of the one that she currently works in. For Mr. Young, I collaborated with TJ to come up with a supplemental amount as he's a salary employee. We considered his current and his projected salary and the amount of time that TJ has estimated he will be contributing to this project in addition to his typical hours worked. So, did you guys have any questions?
In your explanation that you gave us for the IT administrator,
Yes, sir.
it's basically for the software implementation from CIS.
That's
But
my
that's what this extra time is designed toward.
That's my understanding, yes, sir.
And the stuff from Ms. Skalka is not, she does not have access to CGIS information.
No, sir.
She is not CGIS certified by
No,
any
sir.
means. So it was my understanding that she's going to be handling timesheets, things of that nature for the department.
Supervising employees, yes, scheduling, operational duties, bill paying, keeping the lights on.
But she's not actually physically in the building now, correct?
No, she's not in that building. She's officing out of her
Right.
office,
She
correct?
is doing most of these out of our building, yes. Aside from the times that she's on call in the middle of the night.
Well, yeah. Okay.
But she does not have access to CGIS information.
No, sir.
She
Not
does
that
not.
I
Absolutely
am
not.
aware.
Just clarify that. Okay.
So like for Mr. Young, what is he gonna be doing different in this software implementation that he wouldn't be doing as the IT department anyways?
It's my understanding that there were several things that Ms. Hood and Ms. Selden would have been taking care of in the implementation process, that since they're no longer there, those duties are going to fall to Mr. Young.
And then as far as, upping the tap pay, have we ever done that before in a situation where there's been a supervisor or whatever leave or retire or move on, whatever you want to call it?
I've looked at some similar situations, and it typically is the $2 per hour, but it's also an employee stepping up from within the same department. So this is someone who has served under the person leaving, who's had the opportunity to see these operations every day, to be involved in them. We're asking someone from a different department to step into a role that they're not familiar with and help run a department that they don't normally work within. So she's having to learn a lot of additional procedures. Honestly, I would suggest this if we had any employee who was stepping into a supervisory or operational role who crossed over into a different department, because of the volume of things that they would have to learn to be successful in this role.
It is not unusual for us to provide incentive pay or TAP pay for someone. We did it when we were looking for a director at the expo as well. We increased that supervisory role into for the employee there at that time that was the supervisor.
It was done
And we
in
did that
the
in the
EDS
EDS.
department when the engineer left.
EDS as
That
well.
$2 an
It's
hour.
not something that
And the
we're
last time there
not
was a
used to
vacancy
doing.
in 911, we also did $2 an hour for both of the co-interim directors.
Okay.
Judge, can I ask a question? Since I've gone through 3 directors at E911 and kind of worked with everything and stuff like that, I'm just really concerned that with things going on like CGIS and NCIS and all the different agencies we have to deal with and stuff, of putting somebody from a different department that really doesn't know the on-the-ground kind of things. I know you've got Jared as the one that the sheriff appointed, and he's got most of his qualifications. The last time when Miss Candace left, I had Jared and I had Shannon Selden. And I mean, y'all have gotten to this point, which is very unfortunate, because it's very scary for our residents to know that E911 does not have its too many people there running it. And not knowing what exactly happened in the thing, I don't think they even know what happened in the thing. So I just am real concerned about making sure we have the right people in there. I did like I said, I went the last time, and in between time we had them, we took care of fully staffing and stuff like that with people that used to be here as well. So like I said, I'm just very concerned about having somebody in there that's, and if she's gonna have enough time with her department, the things that she's doing for your department, and then also doing that for that department. It just really, like I said, I've been through this with 3 directors, so it's not a simple thing. It's not just put somebody in the position.
No, well, the good thing though is that my understanding is that Ms. Skalka was previously a dispatcher, so at least she's got some.
Was she at the county or?
She volunteers
Right?
as a dispatcher.
Oh, she volunteers as a dispatcher, sorry.
Okay,
And that's-
thank you for your
our county-
comments.
Our county is totally different. I mean, we have all the air, the event, we have all the different things, and it's totally, it's a very,
She's not dispatching.
No, it's okay.
she's not dispatching, but like I said, I'm done.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
I appreciate that.
Okay. Ms. Mojek? Okay, time, is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve the supplemental pay incentive pay for employees assigned additional duties due to vacancies at E911 department.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of interlocal cooperation agreement between Washington County and Department of Public Safety. Ms. Milchek, you're up again, please. Okay,
Is that too
and
early?
Sergeant, would you like to join us, please? Come on.
Thank you.
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, we're here to discuss the agreement that you guys have graciously provided. We reviewed it, discussed it with HR, some questions we had. I think there's 2 additional things me and the judge kind of discussed that were off the record, but were just technicalities. The address needs to be fixed, I believe, to the
Correct,
current
yeah.
address at Blinn versus
Right,
the old one.
That address, when we get to the motion portion, needs to be corrected, this document to, it presently has the old address on it from DPS. The new address is 1007 Walter Swartz Way.
That's correct.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay, we'll make that part of our motion. Okay, and also, the document for evaluation document is that, we need to clarify who's providing that, whose document we're going to use. Ms. Milchak, what's your take on that one?
So it does state that a quarterly progress report or a performance evaluation will be submitted. Does it matter the form, a county form, if there's a form we need to utilize that gets approved, or Word document, or letterhead?
We have a document that you can utilize if you'd like, but if y'all have one in place, I'm happy to accept y'all's.
Well,
We don't. It's all
I can provide
electronic in a
this, yeah.
database that you have to fill it in, and it's not anything I can free fill
I understand,
for
yes,
the
yes.
county.
I would suggest, since this is a county employee, that it come from the county.
Yep.
Yes.
This employee, I think what we need to explain is that this
Yeah.
interlocal agreement is an agreement that allows for a county employee to work with the sergeant here. The reason we're updating this agreement is because there were some names and things listed in this agreement that were no longer part of what we do. And the sergeant has graciously worked with us in updating this document. We took out those names. We cleaned up the document to align with the scope of services that are being provided. We also clarified vacation time, things of those nature. So this document is a more true representation of how we handle the county employee working with DPS. Look, we've been told by some of our departments that it's vital that we have a position for someone to communicate with our DA's office, our county attorney's office. We've had those conversations. We discussed this during budget, commissioners. We discussed updating this document for 2025. This is the document that came through that. County attorney's office has reviewed the document, and the court has had the document. I believe, Sergeant, you've looked at the document as well. So this is basically a document that everyone that is involved seems to has had their input. Ms. Malchek has been the one in charge of the Word document of this. So thank you to everyone involved. I appreciate all the work, and I think this document is a sound document.
Absolutely. Cures a lot of ills. It's a good document. Thank you. Okay.
I make a motion to approve the interlocal cooperative agreement between Washington County and the Department of Public Safety with the corrections as were mentioned within this courtroom.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Sergeant. Appreciate you.
Judge, if I may, can I add something real quick?
Absolutely.
I don't know if the public, the citizens are aware of our agreement, and you filled them in. I want to give an example yesterday of how vital she is. I spoke to the judge about it. I was supposed to be teaching Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday to our recruits in the academy, and I was, till I was informed the meeting was today, so I came back. While I was there, I got a request from a prosecutor's office in the next county over, where we had a man attack some people with a machete, maim them pretty good, loss of limbs, that type of stuff, and he fled. They caught him in Corpus. The prosecutor reached out to me and said, I need these videos. We don't know who the arresting officer trooper was, blah, 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 et cetera. I was not able to fulfill that. I probably couldn't get that until tomorrow due to what I was doing. I was able to get that request to Miss Ashley, who is the admin. And within about 20 minutes, she had located all the troopers, found the videos, and provided them to the prosecutor's office so they could prepare for when he returned and was brought back to the county to face charges. So that's just a very simple example of how it affects everyone and just how important she is. So I thank you guys on the court for that.
Well, glad it worked through. Okay, thanks for
Thank
being
you.
with us today.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Item number 8, discuss and possibly act upon the approval to canvass votes for the general election held on November 5th, 2024. Ms. Jackson? There's looking everywhere for you. All over.
I'm
You know,
invisible,
hiding in plain sight
okay.
there.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm just gonna give you guys excuse my voice, I'm a little hoarse, a little overall view of what canvassing is. Canvassing the votes is a culmination of counting all voted ballots. These ballots are ballots voted by mail, domestic, military, and overseas. Ballots voted in person included limited, provisional, and regular in-person ballots. And election day includes provisional and regular in-person ballots. The early voting ballot board met for the third time and last time to observe, open, and accept late ballots, provisional, and we call them move, military and overseas ballots. All ballots not cured with corrections were rejected, and a letter was mailed. We mailed a letter to the voters to let them know whether or not their either provisional ballot was accepted or rejected, or their mail ballot made it in time or not, or was just not cured. The Central County Station met to accept those ballots, make resolutions to the required ballots, and prep all ballots for scanning and tabulation. The tabulators ran the needed tests, scanned all ballots to be counted, ran all necessary reports, and ran the third and last test that was required. And now, since all of those, all the ballots has been accounted for, it's time for the Commissioners Court to canvass. Now, based on our findings, let's see this sheet first.
Yeah.
Okay. Based on all of the ballots that were counted for early voting, when we, and you're gonna see a difference, like when the preliminary was basically on the right side. That's all of, everything that came in, every in-person, every mail ballot, all of the provisional. And then on the right side of number 3 is the outcome. The reason, let me just explain. The early voting in-person voters, you see that 14,457, that was during the preliminary report, and that's the people that actually voted. However, only 14,456 ballots actually counted because we had a fleeing voter. That means a voter left without depositing their ballot into the ballot box. And that is always going to show a difference because you have more people checked in, but one less ballot.
Right.
So they left before they deposited their ballot. And we cannot insert that ballot into the ballot box. It's against the law for us to cast somebody else's ballot. So we actually have to let the count be what it may. So for early voting ballots counted, we had 14,456 ballots. On election day, ballots counted, we had 3,322. Mail ballots counted 557. And then provisional ballots, out of that 53, only 8 of those ballots actually counted. And so we had a total of 8,343 ballots that were votes that were actually counted. And so that's all I have. If the judge has something else.
Now I have the statement for the canvass of general election. Do you have the
She didn't have the canvas. What she has is
Okay,
the
that's fine.
summary.
Okay, she has the summary, right? Okay. The canvass of the general election. John L. Dernberger, County Judge of Washington County, Texas, met with the Commissioners Court, sitting at as a canvassing board to canvass the general election as November 5th, 2024. We met on November 19th, 2024 in Washington County. I certify that the figures on the tally sheets correspond with the figures on the returns. We need to vote.
And the returns, basically, because we are electronic, if you scroll to the next set, I think, keep going. You have another sheet? Yeah, that, yeah. That's basically what I'm going to submit to the Secretary of State as soon as I leave here, because this is the deadline for us to submit that report. And basically, the summary of the ballots that the results report that I gave the judge matches this,
Right.
and that's why you can swear
We
to
did a
this.
balance sheet against
Yeah.
this, and they all match up. There's a lot of them, so.
Well, I just want to say thank you to all those folks that helped with this election. This was a very contentious election. It was, our country has become a divided nation in some sense of the term, and I hope that there are ways for us to come together. After the election was over, I think a lot of people took a sigh of relief because they were ready for it to be over. There's a lot of TV ads and things of that nature, and I think it creates a little bit of animosity and tension amongst our electorate. So I really appreciate that. I also appreciate the fact that so many people, if we look at this, commissioners, we've had this discussion in budget about the early voting numbers. The early voting numbers are 14,456. It's phenomenal, considering that on election day, we served 3,322. This should show the Commissioners Court that there is a need for a place for early voting. We need to have that place accessible and visible to our public. That's what that says to me. When you have that many people voting early, there needs to be an early voting place. So thank you so much for this report. It's definitely clear. This one pager, I like that. I was just telling the county attorney's office that a county commissioner has to read quite a few documents when it comes to these things, including 380 agreements, things of that nature. So a one pager helps us get through all the other stuff. So thank you for doing that, Ms. Carroll. I appreciate it. Like I said again, thank you to everyone. I think with all the volunteers that go into voting and all of the people that help, it's just phenomenal what we have in this community. We came together, and this election we knew was going to be a big one. So thank you for all y'all did.
All right. You're welcome.
I make a motion to approve the canvass votes for the general election held on November 5th, 2024.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, have a good one.
Thank you,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Carroll.
Hit send. You're going to hit send, right, Ms. Carroll?
I'm sorry.
You going to hit send?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Item number 9, discuss a formal notice from Industry Telephone Company for fiber installation along county right-of-way on all Old Levy Lane, Precinct 4. Mr. Stokes.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Yes, so what we're looking at is an extension in the Burton area for some additional fiber, as we've seen before. This is from Industry Telephone. The two locations that we're looking at today is Old Low as well as Shaneman Road. You actually saw Shaneman Road have an extension up to this point. I think it was at our last meeting, if not the one before that. This is an extension from there. The one where we're looking at this particular crossing, we're looking at 4,300 foot going north to serve these homes along this stretch of roadway. And then what we're going to be tying into for item 10 is really going to be an extension right at this same intersection going from Shaneman all the way to 1697, which is looking at 7,200 feet. Whenever we're looking on this section that they're proposing here, we're looking at 10 foot to 17 foot between the edge of roadway to the right-of-way line. Not too concerned in terms of the 3 handholds that they're going to have to be placing on the west side of this roadway through here. On the Shaneman section, we're looking at 7,200 feet in that particular section, and we are looking at 12 foot to 18 foot between the edge of roadway to the right-of-way line. And once again, it's we're not really too concerned in terms of the handhold placement that they have in that section. So, sorry, I kind of lumped both of those together, but since these are very close in nature, I wanted to just kind of put the broad spectrum across the board.
Okay. Okay. Then item number 10 is discuss formal notice for Industry Telephone Company for fiber installation along the county right-of-way of Shaneman Road, Precinct 4, which you just basically did.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Thank you. Item number 11, discuss a formal notice from Magnolia Oil and Gas for temporary lay flat along the county right-of-way of Upshaw, Hofstrasse, Cather, Moy, and Bascom Road, Precinct 4.
Yes, sir. So this is actually a stretch that you've seen before. This spans from Upshaw over to Bascom. So Upshaw is one of the large reservoirs that Magnolia utilizes in the area for a lot of their operations. And then in the back at Bascom is actually their primary saltwater disposal well, as well as some wells they have back there. So they're looking at this for a temporary nature, up to 6 months, and then having those pulled back out again. So whenever we get closer to the springtime, at the very latest, to be able to rip those out so we can get through and get all those shredded.
Okay.
Yeah, I will tell you, Precinct 4 has been through years of these things, and it's even passed through commissioners. I mean, we're now second generation, basically, of these. I think there must be something over there, right, that they keep going after. And so I know that we're going to have to continually, I know that's a struggle for you guys over there in terms of those residents having a passable roadway and things of that nature. So
Well,
I
and
know
I-
y'all have addressed that in budget with us, and we understand what's going on, but really appreciate the work that's going on with you guys. So.
And you're exactly right, Commissioner, especially when it comes to these lay flat lines. They're never fun. They're an eyesore, but it goes back to if we can put that water in the ditch going through that instead of water trucks running down these roads.
Absolutely.
They already get beat up so bad that
Yeah.
it's kind of one of those things. It's the best of a bad situation. And look, I'm not disparaging oil and gas operations by any stretch. They're the backbone of infrastructure today, but in terms of roadway, they are definitely an eyesore. But once again, I'd much prefer them going down that
Absolutely.
down
I
that
think our
lay flat
residents
line
would
than
much
through a
prefer
truck.
that as well.
Yeah, I think so,
They get
especially
enough
in these areas.
oil field
that
traffic
they're
without
really-
having water
plenty of
trucks as
traffic
well.
already.
Yes, they
That's
do
a
have
better way
plenty
to
of
do
traffic.
things. Okay, any other discussion of that, of item number 11? Item number 12, discuss and possibly act upon the final plat for Chadwick Hogan Estates Phase 2, located along Caney Creek Road, consisting of 5 lots in the James Stevens Survey, Abstract 101, Precinct 2.
Yeah, so this is a phase 2 for a subdivision off of Caney Creek Road as well as Chadwick Hogan Road. This is going to be Chadwick Hogan Estates phase 2. The first phase butted up to the intersection of Caney Creek and Chadwick Hogan, which was 9 lots. What we're looking at today is 5 additional lots, which would be to the south of phase 1. Where these 5 lots, they do range from 3 to 4.762 acres for the 5 lots that are proposed. With the average being 3.35. They do meet all of our requirements in terms of lot size as well as their submittals. There is no infrastructure proposed, so this is purely creating lots that front existing roadways out there today. We do recommend approval of the plat as presented.
Sorry. I make a motion to approve the final plat for Chadwick Hogan Estates Phase 2, located along Caney Creek Road, consisting of 5 lots in the James Stevens Survey, Abstract 101, Precinct 2.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
That road goes all the way over to those other 2 lots that are at the very top, correct? It's not dotted out on that.
Oh, no, sir. They
goes-
didn't continue the roadway all the way to the north, but yes, sir. Caney Creek does continue
goes
along the
all the
frontage
way
of
to
I
those
just wanted to make
lots.
sure, because the document didn't
It
show
goes
that.
a
and
long
I'm
way.
I'm not familiar with that precinct, so, over there, so.
It goes a long way.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay.
just to make sure.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Item number 13, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of accounts payable. Ms. Kramer?
Good morning. Who says number 13 is not lucky? Not me. We only have $240,659.18 in bills this week. That's a good thing.
Getting close to the end. That's why.
Yes.
Nothing unusual in there.
I make a motion to approve accounts payable.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 14.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Do we have any?
I think he's getting a star
Oh,
or something.
yeah.